Okay, I start.
All right, we're recording. Okay, so I'm going to be talking about use case documents here. Let me share my screen. So first, let's go to this week's announcement that Brother Lawrence put up. And let's kind of take a look at what he says here. This part here, I think the most common mistake I see is that a student will try to describe everything their application will do in a single use case. So if I understand it correctly, he goes on further and he says they don't think clearly enough about how to split up what their application can do. I suggest looking at a few different examples of use case diagrams on the web first to get an idea of how to split up an app's functionality into different use cases. So a use case, if I understand it, is a certain portion of the application. It's not the whole application itself. So like, let's take a look at an example I found here. So this is, if you look at this document, can you guys see this project management docs logo here?
Yes.
Okay. So this is an example of a use case. It's not specific to IT. You see the name of the use case though is order materials. So it starts out with a verb and it ends with a noun. So it's order, so something's being ordered, and then what's being ordered? The materials. So we're dealing with one action on like one item or one object. So we're not trying to develop a use case document for the whole application, but just one portion of that functionality. So then the description, pretty cool, or pretty high level, like we don't have to be too detailed. But a buyer submits material order to one of a pre-approved list of material vendors. So like it's talking about what this use case is doing and how it's going to handle that situation, but on a high level without a lot of details. And then it gives some examples of actors, which would be people or processes that are involved in the use case. So like, let me see. I've got one that's more appropriate for the IT arena, and that's this one. So here we see use case name. It's another verb noun, place, order. So somebody's going to be placing an order. Then the actors are a registered shopper, non-registered shopper, the fulfillment center, and the billing systems, because these are all entities that are going to be interacting within the use case. I don't know if triggers is required in our use case document that we're going to be doing, but it's included here. So if you want to use it, you can do that. Also, if you look at the Doing More with Java book, it has this use case sample document. And does it have triggers here? It does. It does have triggers. And Brother Lawrence said that we can use this document outline if we want, but it uses some words that are a little different, like the alternate success scenarios. We're gonna go over that a little bit, but it's well, we'll get that later. But what I want to focus on here is it says scenario, and in the documents that we produce, we can use the word flow. It's the same thing. It's just a step-by-step list of what happens with the exchange of the user and the process. So let's go back to this. So then they define some preconditions, like the user has selected the items to be purchased. The post conditions, things that happen after the use case is done. And then it defines the normal flow. So like the best case scenario when everything goes correct, what the kind of back and forth happens in the use case. So like, remember, somebody's placing an order, let's say on a website. This isn't specific to a website, but let's say it is on a website. Then it's going to go through all these different steps. So the user will indicate that she wants to order the items that have already been selected. Then step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. So all this kind of back and forth is on a real high level. We're talking about what needs to happen in order for this functionality to work. We're not going into too big of details on how it's going to work or what it's going to do with the nitty-gritty with code and stuff like that. We're just simply stating what's going to happen in order for this functionality. And then it goes into alternate flows or an alternate scenario. So in this scenario, the user doesn't have a billing and shipping information for the orders on an account, so they have to enter it manually. So that's a little different than in the normal flow, where the user already has the existing billing and shipping information here. And then it goes over some additional alternate flow. And then this example doesn't have it, but there is, generally you've got normal flow, alternate flow, and then like exceptions, like if a problem comes up, how that's going to be handled and stuff like that. So then they list requirements for the function to even kind of work at all. So that's similar to the post or the preconditions, but it's different. We see the preconditions as vendor has pre-approval in the ABC Corp's ordering system, while the requirements is the funding availability must be verified prior to submitting any material purchases. So like even before anything happens, we need to make sure that there's money to, or somebody has the money to make the purchase for this this order of materials. And in this case, that would be a requirement for this case. So anyway, that's about it. That's a use case as far as I understand it. And these are examples of use case documents. Pretty cool, pretty simple, just kind of think it out. And that's all I got. Anybody have any questions or comments? Anything they'd like to add?
Oh, that's good. I've been kind of scratching my head over that.
Yeah, did that help at all?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's very good.
All right, I can share any of these links if you would like to, guys. If you guys would like to take a closer look at them, that's up to you guys. Okay, yeah, I'll put those in the text the chat box. No problem. Okay, all done.
Nice. Okay, let me. Okay, you see my screen all right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm just doing JUnit testing again. I'll breeze through this. Regression testing, who developed it, used to implement unit tests in Java. I'm going to test, prove features, and test retain their value over time. Allow others to prove the software still works. Confidence in code, quality of code. That's why we have this. Test framework provides tools for assertions, running tests, aggregating tests, reporting results, and it's always been that let the developers write the tests, make it easy and painless, test early and test often. You could also add in there, if you can do it, if you also test automatically too, is good. But anyway, some methods, assert equals. You can actually have the expected and the actual. You can actually also have the string message that appears along with that. I never did do anything with that, but you can. Assert true, assert same, assert not same, and assert null, not null, array equals, and assert false. Why should test? It tests things which could break, and tests should succeed quietly. It means you don't need to print that, hey, this is now testing, or done with this testing, or and what shouldn't I test? Several places I read just said you don't test the get or set methods. You don't test the compiler, which basically, I guess that's what you're testing if you were to test the set and get methods. You write your tests first. That's the optimal way they say to do it. You do your tests first, and then you write your code after that and make sure it works. And where do you put your test files? You put it in the same package. That's what I've always done. Well, I wrote a couple of these, and I did it this way. You can also put it in a separate parallel directory, just in the same package. But I don't know if you ever heard of the glass half full, but or glass half empty, whatever. But anyway, this is my glass, and I have liquid, and I have percent full, and I have all these, like get percent full is empty, just basically a 0 of the percent full. And then I have tests to test that, such as the equals. So if water equals the water, 60% equals 60%, it's going to be, it's going to equal that. This is my array. Basically, I couldn't figure out how to do the array from this side, but I don't know, he accepted it. So let's see, this is the assert true. And it's this one I just said is empty, and I put 0 here, so it took it as true. And assert same, so liquid type is water and water. Assert not same, water and milk. And assert false. It's not empty because it's at 75%. Not null. So I have it, liquid type set as null, and I have water though, so it's not null. Both are null here. This is something we didn't need to do, but I saw something similar to it, and so I did it. Basically, I have this. if you run this and somebody puts in a -1, it should throw the exception, which will print percent must be between 0 and 100. And I just have this, it's called assert throws. So basically, if it throws an exception, it's going to be true. And I've put the set percent full is at -1, and which is out of bounds. And so it does throw that exception, and then it shows true.
Oh, that's
And then
cool.
You can run them all and make sure they all work. I have 9 of 9 tests.
I like that assert throws.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of cool.
You can test your exceptions.
Yeah. So
pretty
if I
sweet.
were to actually make that a 1, which won't throw an exception, and just run that,
It'll fail
yeah,
because it didn't throw an exception. Huh,
yeah.
that's cool.
But
I kind of
quick and
did that
easy.
with the assert null. I had something. I had a object that was created off of a method, and if the method was not successful in creating the object, it returned null. So when it returned null, it also threw an exception. So it was able to test the exception, kind of like it threw the exception and showed my message, and also show me that the object was null. But I like assert throws better. That's cool.
Yeah. So that's what I have. Any questions? It was pretty straightforward, I thought, after I got into it and read everything I possibly could.
Yeah, I don't have any questions.
That's very clear.
Yeah, very
Pretty
nice.
good.
I like
Thank you.
your Glass.java class. That's pretty sweet. Very organized.
Thank you. Alrighty, so yeah, we have a kind of a easier week. I guess I'll probably take his advice and look at what do you want us to look at?
Use case diagrams.
No, it was migrate, wasn't it?
Oh, hibernate.
Hibernate. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, I was kind of looking at that the other week. It's in they talk about it quite a bit in the Doing More with Java PDF book.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool. It seems like it's used to create like database calls. It creates like an object in Java that's similar to a database call. So it can kind of do the translation from the Java to the database for you. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, so that might be kind of hard, huh?
Mm-hmm. I think so.
Yeah.
It looked hard.
Great. Alrighty. What do we have next week?
To learn about?
Yeah. Let's see if I can find.
I think next week is servlets, I think.
I've got it right here. Yeah, servlets.
And then the review of use case documents.
Yep. Cool.
Sounds good. Well, I don't have anything else. I don't have anything else.
Carlos and Omar, you have anything? Any problems?
No, it's all good for now. for now.
Cool.
All right.
So I'm not.
Okay.
I haven't read the like the assignment for this week. We don't
Yeah.
need to make any program.
No, it's not a program. It's just a use case document that I talked about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
like
writing up that document.
okay.
Hmm.
Okay.
I guess we just add that to our Git account, our Bitbucket account.
Oh, actually,
Maybe-
here, let me share my screen. I think it might be a little bit different. Can you guys see all this?
Yeah.
Okay. So normally we use the topic assignment with, that's a little different than the one for this week. So this one, it says diagram or document, description of understanding, and then please copy the document or diagram below. And we're not doing a diagram, we're doing a document. So I think you just throw your document right in here, you know?
Okay.
That's the way I'm gonna do it. I don't think there's any uploading it to Bitbucket or anything like that.
Cool. That makes
Yep.
it easy.
I think so. All right then.
Oh, cool. You guys have a good night.
Yep, you too, Mitch.
Thank you.
Good night, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Let's see. Oh,
Bye.
let's see. Carlos, you're going to upload this?
Yes, I will.
Okay.
Yes.